welcome along to the Invincible podcast, live here from, well, not live, not when you guys see it, but we're here in Girona, in Spain. We've just beaten Girona by 2-1, and we are through to the next stage of the Champions League. So we thought we'd do a special here. Joining me, I've got Julian and we got Lee. It's been a nice little trip out here, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been really good, and we got the right result, and we got a very good place in the Champions League. Third out of how many teams? 36, is it, or 38?
36, isn't it?
30, it is 36, isn't it? 36.
Enjoy Girona?
Very much so. Very much so. I'd like to have seen more of it. I would like to have done more with the time we had, but from what I saw of the place, I'm very impressed.
I've really enjoyed it. It's been a really good trip. Really good trip. I have to say, big up to the Girona fans. So friendly over here, like, you know, and they're a really, really enjoyable experience and an enjoyable couple of days. And it does help when the old Arsenal win. I have to say that. Big
win for Arsenal. 2-1 goals from Jorginho from the penalty spot, and also from Ethan Nwaneri.
Yeah.
How special is this kid? I mean, there was a guy that we did a fan cam with who described him as the English version of Yamal, which that's high praise indeed. But he is giving you that vibes, isn't it? He is a top player, isn't he?
The biggest compliment that I can give him is that I don't look at him and think that he's just 17. I don't give him a pass for being 17. I don't give him anything like he just goes out there and just expects something to happen. And when he's ever played, virtually every time he plays, something happens. And the goals last night or today, whatever time it is now, I don't even know. Like, but
it was yesterday.
It was yesterday, like, yeah, it's a beer. I've had a few today, but like, it was brilliant. And do you know what? You know he's going to do it, but they can't stop it. You know, and I think he's the nearest thing that we've got to Saka. I really do. Like, you know, I was really, really impressed with that. And I've got this feeling that him and Miles Skelly are pushing each other. Do you know what I mean? Lewis Skelly, they're pushing each other to like, you know, Miles is up there one game, like, and Ethan, I'm not having that, I'm going to get there. So it's brilliant for us as fans and as a football club, that I think that these two have come in this year and have just strengthened the squad without people really appreciating how well they've done.
Yeah, and the reason being they're not appreciating is because we haven't had to go out and spend millions and millions of pounds getting them in. And it's almost like if you do spend millions, then it seems to pacify the supporters. And if you don't spend, suddenly you're tight. But sometimes when you get these players come through the academy and the amount of money they've invested in the academy, of course, not every player, most players don't make it. But when you invest in the academy and you invest in the scouting system and you get enough of these players in, and then one or two come through, then it all makes sense.
Yeah, well, he's definitely come through, and he's scoring some big goals as well. That was a big goal, and Arsenal through to the next stage of the Champions League, and we even know now the possible teams that we'll face. Let me just remind you of those in case you are not aware.
I think so. AC Milan, Juventus, Feyenoord or PSV.
That's correct.
Yes.
That's correct. Those are the 4 teams we could face. Out of those 4 teams, because obviously those teams are going to have to play off. So they're in the playoff stage. Out of those teams, out of that 4, right, who would you rather face? AC Milan, PSV, Feyenoord or Juventus? 2 Italian teams, 2 Dutch
Are we looking
teams.
at this from a footballing point of view or a trip?
Well, I'm looking at it as from a footballing, but I want to get through. I don't want to, you know, I want to win the Champions League. I don't want to turn around and say, oh, I had a great trip. I want to win the Champions League. Yeah, I always go as far as possible.
Yeah, so go on then, right? Yeah. Who do you want then?
Out of those?
Which one?
PSV or Feyenoord?
You wouldn't want Juventus?
No.
What, you think they're the form team, do you?
They're not. You know, they lost. They haven't been great, but they've got top players. And remember, we're still early in the tournament. And I just feel that they've got top players who can turn up. Same with AC Milan, guys.
Julian wants to go skiing.
well, listen, You want to go skiing, I want to win the Champions League.
Yeah, I want to go skiing and win the Champions League. I don't not want to win the Champions League, but if you look at who we want to draw, for me, because I'm going to be going to the games, I look at it as a package. And of course I want that package to continue and then win the Champions League and go all the way through. But I also look at places that we've been and places that I'd like to go. And we have been to Milan, we've been to Milan twice now this season.
It's on the cards, it's Milan, isn't it?
Yeah.
It is on the cards to go there 3 times.
I want the easiest game that Arsenal could possibly get so that we can get through to the next stage. I don't care about skiing. I don't care. I'll go and do that at a later date. I'm not here to do skiing.
We're
win the Champions League. I'm here for the football.
Yeah, but you can't do it that much later because it comes summer. There'll be no snow.
Well, then I'll go skiing in the winter. When it comes around next time, I want to win the Champions League. What are you here for? You here for trips?
I'm here for both. I'm here for the whole fan experience.
The spreadsheet is what it is.
I'm here for the whole fan experience. And yes, the spreadsheet is important to me because I've been to the San Siro a number of times. I've been to PSV. I really don't enjoy PSV's ground. I think it's absolutely awful to watch football in. And
what, you stay at home, watch it on TV?
I don't, but I want to be at the game.
I mean, suck it up and go there. I want the easiest game.
PSV would probably be the easiest one on paper, would it, or not?
PSV or Feyenoord, one of those two on paper.
Yeah, I would say on paper, then Feyenoord would probably be the easiest one. I haven't been to that ground before. I'd like to go and see Feyenoord play. Juventus. Feyenoord? How do you pronounce it?
Feyenoord.
What do I say?
Feyenoord. I don't know where you get these pronunciations from.
You speak in Dutch?
Yes. Well, I did live in Holland for quite some time, so I do speak a little bit Dutch.
Go on then, speak some Dutch.
Goedemorgen.
Good morning.
Yes, because it is after midnight.
Can you give us something a bit more, you know?
What? Thank you well.
Very, very impressive.
Well, I was there 6 months, and every month I learnt a new word. Although on the 6th month I struggled a bit, so I only had 5 words. No, I had 5 because last month I didn't manage a word.
Well done.
Yeah.
Just looking
at excellent English.
Looking at some of the scores, then Lille beat Feyenoord 6-1.
Well, that's the team.
We'll have them. Yeah.
Juventus lost 2-0 at home to Benfica. PSV beat Liverpool by 3-2.
I think Liverpool had 10 men, but towards the end, wasn't it? And Liverpool didn't
right at the end.
So
right at the end. And what was the other team? AC Milan got beaten by Dynamo Zagreb. 2-1. Although we can't make all of those results fool us because there are a lot of teams that would have realised that they can't get into the top 8. They've already qualified, so you know what I mean.
I think the best way to view it is look at their league standings in their different divisions and also their recent form. If you look at Juventus, who you said the team you'd most or least likely to play, they've only won once in their last 5 league games.
Yeah, but they've got top players, and by the time we play them, things can be different.
If those top players are losing, then they're not top players, are they?
Well, I think they've got some top players within their squad, right? You know, I mean, they've got players like Vlahovic, they've got Kola Mawani now. You know, I mean, Yildiz. You know, they've got some good players. Douglas Luiz.
Yeah, they're going to be difficult.
I don't really want to be facing them. That is a tough game. They're a big club. Listen, I'm not saying we can't beat them. Of course we can, but I'm just looking at it and saying, who's the easiest proposition right now?
That's my question now. Is like when this. Because we've not got a game now in the Champions League, have we? So we've got a week off, so we can watch the games. Would you watch maybe Manchester City, or will you now watch one of these?
I'm watching one of them.
Yeah,
PSV, by the way, we're just looking at PSV. They're top of the Dutch Eredivisie right now.
Yeah.
On 49 points.
Feyenoord
are back in 5th.
Yeah,
in 4th.
Yeah, they're 5th.
They're 4th. Sorry. On 36 points, so miles behind.
I think they're under Utrecht as well, which shows a level.
So Feyenoord's the one out of them two.
But they've got to probably go through playing the
we're probably
Juventus
not going
to
be. We're not going to. We probably won't be playing them anyway.
Yeah, and then when we look in Serie A, now Juventus are in 5th, and AC Milan are in 7th.
Yeah, I've already looked at that.
But AC Milan,
I've done my research.
Yeah. So AC Milan then is not a bad shout. But AC Milan going to Milan 3 times in.
Yeah, but AC Milan, you would know from your research that. So what have they done this season that was quite significant?
What have they done? Would you want to give me a clue other than being seventh
But
in the
you
Italian
research
league?
it. I think this will be quite important. I'm sure you know this one in the research you've done.
Well, can you give me a clue?
Well, should I have to give you a clue?
Well, the one thing
It's a trophy they won.
The Super Cup,
And who did they beat?
Real Madrid.
Well, no, the Super Cup's played within 2 teams in Serie A.
Oh, that Super Cup.
Yeah.
Okay, they beat
Napoli,
Juventus.
No.
Inter Milan.
Inter Milan,
Okay.
who beat us. And they beat them, right? And they were 2-0 down in it and came back and won.
Yeah, but if you're going to
Right. So what I'm saying is
that kind of logic, then you can say that the Bournemouth would win the Champions League.
No. The point I'm trying to make to you, right, is that they've got top players, right? That can turn up in any given game. Remember, these are going to be knockout games now, right? When we could possibly play them in. That wouldn't be the easiest game. And, you're going to go to a San Siro, 80,000 fans. Those are not easy games. They've got top players, Rafa Leao, Pulisic, these guys. So we can't...
Destiny's going to take us to Milan.
I want the easiest game we can get. I don't want a skiing trip.
No.
Yeah? I want a trip
I don't want to go
to the
late
Champions
game,
League final if possible.
Yeah, well, you don't want a skiing trip because you said you can't ski. So that's the first thing.
I'm not very good on boats.
You're not very good on boats. I don't want to go to Milan again. I definitely
It's
don't.
not about you.
Yeah.
No, okay,
It's all about you, innit?
But you asked me a question. Which one do I want to go to?
If we got more, if statistically it says AC Milan's the easier one to go for, I'm going to go.
Well, I think out of all of them, Feyenoord's the easiest one.
Yeah, Feyenoord.
That's the one
But
I'd like to
that
get.
is more than likely not going to happen, is it?
Yeah, because they probably won't win.
But then the other question then, the other factor is, if you're looking at the Champions League, you want to pit yourself against the best teams, but your attitude here is, I want the easiest team. So are you just looking for Arsenal to go and win 5-6-0, or do you want to see a competitive
At this stage,
game?
yes. At this stage, if I get the easiest
eventually
team,
you're going to come up against a big gun. Aren't you?
yeah, if I want to get the easiest team in every possible round right through to the final, I want it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm just
but you're not.
interested.
It's
It
not
gives you the
always
bit.
gonna go
It obviously
that way.
don't work like that, but So to me, we've worked hard to earn. One of them oppositions like
We've
a
got a
Feyenoord.
chance, but if you look at that, there's no easy games in the Champions League from now on. Even like,
Well, I'd say if we do get pitched against Feyenoord, then that should be easier.
We got. Who did we get last year? Porto, was it? Like, it was difficult.
It was difficult.
It was, you know what I mean. So I don't think we get to the last 16.
I think we beat them on
knockout.
penalties in the end, didn't we? So it couldn't get more
I think
difficult
it
than
was,
that.
yeah.
Because we ended up losing.
We lost 1-0 over there and won 1-0 at ours, didn't we?
Yeah.
So, there's no easy game. It's going to be tough whoever we get. Ideally, all right, we'll take Feyenoord, you know what I mean, and a trip to Holland. But I'm looking at it and thinking that it's sort of destiny. We've been over there twice already. It's got to be 3 times, isn't it?
Here's a question for you, for your research. Arsenal's potential Champions League quarter-final opponents, if they win their round of 16 tie.
All right, well, the only research I've done up to now is the teams that we can't.
It's already out then, like.
So you can work it out. You can work out. Listen, we don't know for sure, but these are.
Out. But one thing I can say is that we're not going to meet either Liverpool or Barcelona to at least the semi-final.
Right, come on, this is interesting.
So teams that we could meet.
In the last,
possible teams that we can meet in the quarterfinals.
So the last 8.
I would say that this is a guesstimate. So I've done a little bit of working out as you've been saying it. I'd say Manchester City are in there.
Yep.
Okay, I'll just quit while I'm ahead. Go on.
So it's a game of Real Madrid.
Real Madrid are in there. Right, back to you.
Back to you.
Okay, PSG.
Nope.
Right, I'm out. Go on.
Bayern Munich.
Yes.
Can I go again?
Yep.
It's not easy, is it? But I'm
going to say
go on then.
Atalanta.
Nope.
Inter Milan.
Nope.
There's going to be other big teams in that side of things.
Who else could it be?
You want a clue?
Yeah, it's a clue.
Bagpipes?
Celtic.
Yep.
Don't think they'll be getting to the
Do you want another clue for the last one?
Go on.
No, actually, 2 more. One of them, Invincible.
You'd have to say it's the German team.
Like
Leverkusen.
But
And final team has a very feisty manager.
Oh,
Atletico Madrid.
Atletico Madrid. So
So
some tough teams
I think
there.
we can take Celtic out of that equation.
So that's quarterfinals. One of those.
Okay. So that's
Right,
when it's
so-
going to get tough.
Yeah.
So, yeah, so-
Hence why I would like an easy game to try and get there
or an
for
easier,
now.
yeah.
You know.
But in the last 8, you're going to get something. We got got Bayern Munich last time. You know what I mean? It was top class. So you're going to get a top team.
Did we say Real Madrid?
Real Madrid are in there.
Real Madrid, Atletico.
So Manchester City are not going to have it easy in any
No,
round.
of course they're not, because they just scraped in. They literally scraped into that, that top that extra 16 teams that went through.
Talking about that leads me very well into
A weekend.
yeah, because obviously
That's what I'm here for, Rob.
done and dusted. Now we sit back, we kick back. We don't have to worry about playoffs and stuff like that. We await who of those teams come through it. But what we do know is that this weekend we got Manchester City. Manchester City suffered a scare in the Champions League. We're losing 1-0 against Bruges, but they did recover to win by 3-1. They come to the Emirates on Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. Huge game. We had the 0-0. We had the 2-2 with them earlier on in the season. A game which we were down to 10 men and they scored in the absolute last seconds. How are you guys feeling ahead of this game? They picked up a bit of form in the league recently, but we've still been decent in the league.
I'll worry.
I worry.
Yeah.
I'm very worried because of their form after we humbled them in that game. We really should have gone on to win it if we hadn't been robbed of one of our players after 40 odd minutes. Has been terrible, but as Lee alluded to, their form has actually picked up. And yes, they went 1-0 down, but they went on to win that game 3-1. They are in the Champions League, and one thing I looked at half time was seeing what the odds for them to win the Champions League were when they were 1-0 down at half time. Unfortunately, something I learned, you couldn't actually put a bet on for them to win during a game. You had to wait till the end of the game, so I thought that would have been a brilliant time to put a bet on for Man City to win Champions League, because they still, however bad their form's been, the fact that they've fallen off a cliff face on form, I think they can get straight back up that cliff face, and they've been showing signs that they're going to get there. Because
6 points beyond us now.
Yeah, and if they beat us, they're 3
And they brought in a
points.
load of new signings, Mamouche, Kusanov. They had the win over Chelsea last week.
I think if we're going to win this game, you're looking at Martinelli, Havertz, and Wanyeri have got to be right on it. And I mean, right.
Beat them last year, though.
Yeah, but we had Saka. We don't think we had Saka last year.
Don't think Saka played, did
Saka didn't play.
But
I think they beat him in the 85th minute.
Yeah, it was a Martinelli deflected goal, wasn't it? But I look at us and I do think that we're still not quite right up top. So, but look, listen, Havertz has got to have a big game, real big game. Couldn't believe how up close to Havertz today, how thin he is. You know what I mean? Like tall and thin, and then like you see someone like Saliba next to him, he does well for his size to do what he does, but he has got to be. Like the good thing today is, which was a good thing from our point of view, is that I thought he was going to have a complete rest, but they brought him on with the last 10, 15. He's had a little bit of a break. Whether you like it or not, and the whacker and all that, I believe he is the key to us winning this game. He has got to be on his game. I look back at the game on Saturday against Wolves. Forget about all the refereeing stuff. If you dissect it and all that, he has 2 very, very good chances out of 4, and he doesn't take any of them. If he gets a chance against them, He's got to take it because they will get chances against us, and hopefully we can see it through. It's going to be a tough game. It's going to be tough.
Yeah, it's going to be a tough game. But then, so in our advantage was that, as you said, we gave most of our players a rest, and even the ones that did play. I know the game appears close when you look at the scoreline, but we weren't taxed that much. We didn't get any injuries.
No, that's a great point. Yeah,
and we managed to give the players minutes without overplaying them. Whereas City,
some players got a complete rest.
Yeah, and whereas City, I would guess, I haven't looked at their team sheet yet, but I would guess they fielded their whole team, and the fact they went 1-0 down probably meant it was quite an intense game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
and it's not just a case of physically draining. When you're in that situation, it's also emotionally draining. You can only get up for so many games. So I think that's going to be to our advantage.
Who do you fear? City.
Who do I fear? Well, obvious ones. I think Foden's come into some unbelievable form in the last few weeks, so you're going to have to fear him. He's in good goal scoring form. On his day, he's a class player. You can't argue that. I don't like him, but we know we're talking about the long hair boy. You know what I mean? He's always a handful. I don't like people with hair. You know what I mean? Especially long hair that shouldn't have it.
Does that mean you like us?
So I love you, Sue. You know what I mean? But and De Bruyne, I still think, even though he's nowhere near at the level that he was, he can still have moments. You know, and I think this game's going to come down to moments, whether it be Wanyeri or someone like him that can just produce something. So I think that the one thing I do think about City is I think you can get at them. I think they're vulnerable defensively. So, and that's when I'm saying about Havertz is got to be,
especially if they have got quite a lot of injuries. I'm not sure what their situation is at the moment, but if that boy plays, remember we watched the first 20 minutes of the Man City game.
Yeah, I mean, he was nervous.
He was an absolute wreck. I heard that...
he had just as bad a day but was netter.
Apparently, because we actually only saw the first 20 minutes, and the first couple of minutes...
It's horrendous.
Horrendous. It's like the colour was just drained out of him.
Yeah.
He looked like he was... I mean, I thought he was going to get substituted off, but he actually always going to walk off. The guy looked like he was going to cry, just crumbled in front of us, and hopefully he'll be playing. He'll have a similar start, middle and finish, and if that's the case, I think we'll absolutely batter them.
He's a very good player. He just had a bad start. For me, I look on it, I think, obviously attacking-wise, dangerous. Haaland, like you said, Foden's come back to form. They got Doku out wide. That Savinho has been very impressive. He scored again for them in the Champions League. He's Payre at Girona. Yeah, of course, it was their Man City's sort of sister feeder club, isn't it?
Oh, yeah.
So they got a lot.
Much better than Manchester City, by the way.
But they got a lot of dangerous threats up front. But I think the key for us is how we defend.
Yeah.
With Saliba, he had a complete rest. I think Calafiori will probably come into that back four. Timber, Gabriel. That's a solid back four. Hopefully, there's Reyes good to go for that game as well. Declan Rice is going to come back in as well, as we know. If we can defend right in that game, I think we can beat City, because in the transition, in the middle of the park, that's where they've been suffering all season, and in defence.
And we're strong in there.
In defence, they've not been great this season. You know what I mean? They can get got out. There's no Kyle Walker now. So you can use that pace down the flanks. I really do think Arsenal have got an opportunity to win this game. Chelsea last week should have been a couple of goals up, and they let them back into the game with stupid schoolboy errors from the goalkeeper and that. But I feel defend properly against City, and I think Arsenal win this game. Yeah. I really do. It's a tough game. It's Man City. It's a big game. They know that if they win the game, they start to get nearer to us, within about 3 points of us. There's pressure on us because, of course, Liverpool played Bournemouth. Tough game for Liverpool. If we are to put pressure on, Liverpool could drop points in that game. You never know. We've got to win this game. It's a tough game, but We beat them. We haven't actually lost to City for a bit now, have we? In the league.
Yeah, and a lot of it.
Is it 4 games?
I think it is about.
Yeah,
it's about
2.
Yeah, it's about 4 games. But if you look at it, the key's been that Haaland is a great player, but he doesn't look great against Saliba and Gabriel.
Well, he scored against us in the last game.
He scored, but apart from that, he did very little. And the few games, even going
that's
back,
a lot.
But even going back to the Charity Shield, he didn't really have much of a sniff because our centre halves get the better of him. The physical battle, he's a big physical guy, but our guys are bigger, more physical.
Yeah,
they get the better of him, and he doesn't like it.
I think there's going to be a lot of needle in this game because remember.
I'm hoping there is, Rob, because
stay humble,
threw the ball at his head.
Yeah, threw the ball at Gabriel's head. Stay humble, That was a real battle when we played them earlier.
I think there's a nasty. There's a
dislike between the two teams.
Very much a dislike between. I watched the game between Liverpool and Man City. There's a little bit more nicey.
Even the Chelsea one.
Yeah, there is a genuine dislike.
There's needle in this one.
There's needle in this one.
There's needle in this one.
And do you know what? That's what this Premier League needs. It needs that little bit of needle.
And he's a very dislikable character from what you can see, Haaland. The way that he behaves, the throwing the ball at the back of his head, that's cowardly, aggressive, and then he's telling Arteta to keep humble. Who is he to say that? He's an arrogant. He's an arrogant man. To
be fair,
not an endearing character.
To be fair, he's earned the right to be arrogant.
No, he hasn't.
Well,
he's earned the right to be confident, not arrogant.
Well, he's earned the right to have a bit of arrogance. The guy, he's come into the league. He's absolutely smashed it.
No, he's rude and arrogant, which is going beyond that level. Confidence, yes. Confidence in your ability, but he's taken it too far, and that's why he said what he said, and that's why he threw the ball at the back of Gabriel's head. That's wrong.
Yeah, it was, but I think that I'll take that as a compliment. He's rattled. He's been rattled. That's why he's done that. 9 times out of 10 he gets his own way because he is a good player and physically strong, as you said. But I think that from our point of view is that I want it to be a bit nasty on Sunday. I really do. I'm not in we're going over the top, but I want a little bit in there. This game's got that.
Yeah.
And are you looking forward to it? I'm looking
forward to it. I was until I saw who's refereeing the game, and VAR. Anthony Taylor refereeing the game, and Michael Oliver on VAR. I mean, that's crazy.
What do you mean, VAR? Yeah, we're near it, Oliver. You're having winding me up, aren't you?
Yeah, I am.
You could have kept that going for a little bit longer.
Really, I've had a few beers, but I haven't had that.
So who's actually refereeing the game?
I don't know who's refereeing the game. It wouldn't surprise me if it's an Anthony Taylor. But
the referee did come out today. I could look at my phone and try and find out who it is.
So anyway, who came out with what?
Let's get your predictions. Can I have your prediction, Lee?
I am going to go 2-1 to the Arsenal.
I think with the issues that they've got in defence, and if they've got the same injury problems that they had from last week, and I believe that they will have, is that I think we could score 3 and it'll be 3-1. I think Haaland will get a goal, but that's all he'll do in the game.
I'll go 2-1 Arsenal as well. On that, before we wrap it up, since we've been over in Girona, Miles Lewis-Skelly, the red card rescinded. We were all at the game last week, absolutely fuming after what happened. But by the way, it was a great performance by Arsenal, really fired up. I remember Arsenal unbeaten in the league now for quite a long time, so we're right to back them. Is that it now for you with this referee situation? Just draw a line under it, move on?
No, it's up to them to draw a line under it by coming out and apologising and admitting their mistake. And
which they've not done yet.
Yeah, and that's what draws a line under it.
Okay, so for you guys, I still
don't want any. Look, I stand by it. I don't want Oliver. There's too much evidence now to show that he is what he is. He referees Arsenal completely different to any other team, which is shown. He actually refereed that game on Saturday differently, as shown. I don't want him anywhere near it.
You think he can referee another Arsenal game this season?
I don't want him. No.
This season?
No.
But it's not up to us.
It's not up to us, but I think that Arsenal...
No, but it's not up to us, but do you think it'd be wise for the PGMOL to make him referee another Arsenal game this season?
They do it.
I don't think they care.
No, I don't think they care. I think, like, you know,
surely they couldn't.
I just don't think that they should. I think that, you know, they're singing songs about him today in the away end. You know, it's gone too far. You know, I think, you know, it would be mad. I certainly don't want to see him referee again. And do you know what? And if he did, I'd be very hostile towards him. Very, very hostile with the singing and all that. I know what he is. And
what do you mean you know what he is?
Well, I know what he is.
What is he?
He's a cheat.
Is he just? Do you think he's actually a cheat, or
I do think he is a cheat. And I also think that he doesn't like Arsenal, and he referees us differently. And people can say what they want, but there's facts. The facts are, when he refereed us against Arsenal and Manchester City, he didn't want to send the player off because he didn't want to ruin the game. He didn't have that same mentality with us. And there's been too many incidents with him. Too many incidents coming from it to not be there. Listen, with other referees, there's poor decisions. Anthony Taylor's made a few dodgy decisions at the end of the day, and I can accept. But with Mike Oliver, too many. You know, and I go back to the game on Saturday. You know what I mean? Like, there was one sending off and one booking, and he got it round the wrong way. Why? You know, it's supposed to be this, and I say this, top referee. If he is this top referee, you don't make those mistakes continuously. Continuously last season at Manchester City versus Arsenal, his boss coming out and defending him and saying to him, "Oh, we don't want to do this and all that," like, you know. Then the next season, Manchester City versus Arsenal, Trossard, if he really had that attitude like he did when he played against Manchester City Arsenal, he would have turned a little blind eye to that. Oh, but no, out comes the card. And if anybody can tell me, you know, he thought about it or whatever, if you ever look back on it, how quick was he with that red card?
You talk about the one on Saturday.
Yeah, how quick?
Yeah, I'm in agreement, but I would hope that it's incompetence. Because
he's not the number one referee, then what they all say that he is, then, Julian, is he?
But that's incompetence to say that he is. I would hope it's incompetence, because if he's actually cheating, then the game's in serious trouble.
And I'm going to say this now, like, you know, with the David Coote thing, like, you know, he's come out and turned around and said he don't like Klopp. I don't condemn him for that, because he obviously doesn't. So when he doesn't like Klopp, does he referee Liverpool slightly different to what he would do another team? I think that he does, because he doesn't like Klopp. And I've got the feeling that Oliver doesn't like Arteta.
So it would be interesting, because every supporter has a bias, and referees in this country support football. For them to referee, they must have an interest in football. So if they've got an interest in football,
they've got an interest in the team.
They've got an interest in the team, which means you favour one team and you have a bias against another team. So maybe it would be an idea, especially after the performance we saw of today's referee, to bring referees in from other countries.
100%.
And then they wouldn't have that same bias.
100%. And do you know what? It would take away all of that. They might still make mistakes and all that, but you know that the referee from Girona doesn't care about Liverpool beating Arsenal or Arsenal beating Liverpool. That is the thing of it, like, you know. I don't really know that there's talk that he supports Newcastle and things like that. Like, I don't know. Or he's been seen with a Newcastle. You know, listen, can we be really honest about it? I'll be honest with this. Like, if I was a referee and I'm refereeing Tottenham versus Brighton, I think Brighton might get a penalty every now and then. Because why? Human nature.
Well, listen, guys, I think we're going to leave it there.
Yeah, what are you tired, Rob?
Yeah.
I'm not too bad, you know. I'm not too bad, but we should get some sleep.
Ryan's worked hard today. Like, that guy works so hard. It's
don't bring him up. He's just such a troll, right? Yeah. But no, he has worked really hard. So have you guys. You worked really hard. It's been a great trip. Really enjoyed it here in Girona, even though we didn't really get the weather to go with the beautiful...
Never a dull moment, is there? We have.
Yeah. It's a beautiful... I agree with what Julian was saying. It's a beautiful town.
Yeah.
Right, so, you know, and like you guys, I get it when you talk about trips, because somewhere like Girona, I probably would never have come to
Well, you wouldn't come here for a holiday, would you?
Probably not, no, but it's definitely worth a visit. So I really enjoyed it here. But we move on in the Champions League and we move on in the Premier League, Man City at the weekend. And then after that, a big assignment away at Newcastle. So there's a couple of big games coming up for Arsenal in the next couple of games. But job done in the Champions League.
Are we going to do it in Newcastle? We haven't given a forecast for that.
We're doing it. 2-0 on the night, it goes to penalties, Arsenal.
Oh my God, it's a late night.
Yeah, it's a late night.
It's a very late night.
Well, it's going to be an early morning, isn't it?
What do you reckon?
I reckon about 8 o'clock in the morning we'll get back.
No, I'm on about.
Well, if you get back at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's gone penalties and.
Yeah, we've got to go there thinking we're going to do something. I think we'll win. I'm going to say 1-0.
Then we're out.
We're out. But I think we're going to go up there and win.
2-1.
So we go out.
Yeah, I just.
Okay, well, let's wait and see what happens with that. Well, we'll be covering that one as well, of course. And we come up with the Invincibles the day after that. But thanks for watching. It's been a special edition from over here in Girona, in Spain. We're going to be heading back to the UK right now. And also, this busy transfer market is coming up, of course. Right, we're going to be keeping you right across that with Transfer Daily and loads of breaking news, so you won't miss a thing. Transfer window shutting on Monday. Notice I didn't really talk about that. We're saving that for some other shows. Thanks for watching. We'll see you again soon.